Welcome to this short demonstration of a revolutionary new product that's going to help your business at all levels, hiring experienced recruiters or trainees and fast-tracking their performance. Now, before I start, I jokingly talk about this training manual took me over 20 years to write. What I mean by that is I thought about it from time to time, that I should do it. And the reason I didn't is because it's hard. It took me ultimately about 3 months, much of that in the evenings, and a lot of world-class knowledge. I mean, me as a £1 million biller and an expert speaking at trade associations around the world in recruitment, there's a lot of knowledge in my head. I'd never found the time to sit down and document it. Have you? So I finally did it. And I'm so pleased I did. In fact, I'd say it's probably my best piece of work. I've filmed about 500 videos now with my production team over a number of years. This, in my opinion, is my best piece of work. So this is broken down into pretty much everything you need in recruitment into a series of chapters. Everything within it, as we do with all things in my business, can be tailored and edited to your business. So if you were interested in this, we would brand it in your company colors. You'd receive it in Adobe software. Your top team will be able to review it and edit it and tailor it, add things to it, remove things. But so far when we sell this, I'd say 98% of businesses take it as it is. A few of them change some things, quite right too, if they wish to do that. But I think you'll find the content is very, very strong indeed. And that's our ace over the years, world-class content. So it starts off, as you can see here, with attitude of top recruiters and get people in the right zone. It then moves into recruitment process and how important it is to follow processes to make more billings. This particular thing here is the 30 steps in recruitment, which has been around for a long time. So I did my take on that. And also there are contract techniques, temp techniques within this manual as well, so you can get a full flavour across every aspect of your business. Now, the strength of the content is that it's not just explaining things to a recruiter, it's showing them pathways. So you'll see here, there's a kind of written role play on the screen, getting the person to understand the difference that it's going to make to them of asking better questions, in this instance, when taking a vacancy. So I call this make the vacancy easier to fill, or make the contract requirement easier to fill, whatever it is that you place. And then it goes through fee clearance, getting terms of business signed off, some key questions to get your recruiters to understand that there are no magic answers in the job, but there are magic questions. And the more high quality questions you can ask, wherever possible, the easier it's going to be to fill those roles and make more fees. So it starts off from that kind of aspect. This is an example of process here, a template job order. There are some superb questions within this template job order, by the way, which take you to new business whilst taking a vacancy from a client. There are some questions in here that protect your fees whilst taking that vacancy, and there are some questions in here that take you to other candidates whilst taking that vacancy. There are also questions, as you can see on the screen here, that give you control. So often recruitment directors talk about client control, candidate control. There's an example here on the screen about client control, and not saying when would you want the person to start, well, as soon as possible, but asking the question in a different way. So it's peppered with little techniques that make a major difference. So it goes through the whole process, closing for exclusivity, retainers, sourcing candidates, and not just sourcing online. I've documented 35 different ways, believe it or not, to find candidates for free without the web. So imagine that. No LinkedIn, no Facebook, in fact, no Google, no internet, no advertising. 35 different ways to source candidates. A better way to get candidate referrals for free. Name gathering techniques from candidates and clients, peer references, and so on and so on and so on. So all documented elegantly within the document. And then, if you fast forward to the end of the document, as you can see, it's page 68 of 247 here, then there are lots of business development techniques, cute ideas, ethical, professional, that the majority of recruiters aren't using day to day. How do I know that? Well, I speak at recruitment events in San Diego, in Singapore, in Sydney, Johannesburg, London, obviously, parts of Europe, Australia, and I'm seeing what people are not doing, and I promise you that the content in here is gold. If you personally, as a director, take the time to read it and analyse it, you'll pull out gems that can make a significant difference to your business. So, without going through the whole document and going into some very specifics on, say, business development or cracking preferred supplier listings, which is covered in here, I want to talk about how you can use it. Because this document can be chopped up into chapters within your branded digital blended learning system, which is another product that we have, and it can be integrated into that platform. That means then that the learner gets some training with you, an external trainer maybe, an internal trainer, some one-to-ones, some desk side coaching, and they watch a video from the platform and they read a chapter of the manual. Now think of the blend of senses that are being appealed to there and the variety of learning rather than just listening to one person all day talking to them. So that's one way you can put it into your platform. The second thing is, after induction has been finished, you've got a revision tool. So my belief was, when I inducted someone in the business, I'm going to stretch them. So it's not about, start them at 10 o'clock on day one and finish at 4:30 and have a nice day and tea and coffee and biscuits, because that's not the real world. The real world is, we get in early, we probably work late, and we call candidates in the evening outside office hours. So prepare your staff to learn more in the first few weeks. And one way that the manual helps with that is, for example, they've had a full day, and at the end of it, you do a review, you assess what they've learned, and you say to them, right, tonight's homework is I'd like you to read chapter X of the manual, and tomorrow morning I want you to come in and tell me what you've learned from it. So you're testing out their work ethic in that sense, but you're also getting more knowledge into their head faster. I mean, one of the biggest billers in Australia is billing $750,000. He absorbed this manual, and read it cover to cover many times, made notes on it. And someone told me, whether this is a good thing or not, he said, Mike, he sounds like you. Not with my accent, by the way, but just in terms of some of the expressions and some of the ways that he had, drawn techniques out of the manual. He's outperforming in his market by probably 50% or more the next top biller in that particular sector. So it can have a major impact where you can, give it to the person who's really hungry. You can give it as part of homework and so on in the evenings. But with experienced people, it's equally valuable. So I'd like you to think about the last experienced hire you made in your organisation. Let's call that person Billy Big Boots. Now, Billy has got 5 years experience. In reality, he's got 1 year's experience that he's used 5 years in a row. Now, he doesn't think he needs any training, but he doesn't know the gold that's in this manual. He just doesn't. You probably know that before he even says, I don't need any training. So how about this? How about saying to him, Billy, I need your help. I'd like to buy you dinner for two, for you and your partner, as a thank you for what I'm going to ask you to do next. I'd like you to go through this manual with a fine-tooth comb to look for improvements, because you've got 5 years experience. So I'd like you to highlight in light yellow any of the gems, the little things that you've never come across that you think are really valuable to you. So there's going to be some value for you, Billy. The second thing, Billy, is to highlight in light green anything that you've forgotten about. So this is things that you used to do, but for some reason it's gone by the by. So a kind of refresher for you, Billy, so to speak. And the third thing, Billy, in light purple, this is really important, I'd like you to highlight anything that you disagree with. Now, we're happy for you to disagree, as long as, and this is critical, you give an improvement, a suggested improvement. And then finally, Billy, if there's anything from your old company that was not in the manual and that you think should be, please make a note of that so that we can improve it. Now, that is the cheapest training course you'll ever send Billy Big Boots on. And think about people who you've hired who say to you in a reactive way, oh, no, that's not the way we do things. You see, if they've gone through this Billy Big Boots strategy, They've bought into your content, and remember, it's tailored to your business. They've bought into it hook, line, and sinker. And why wouldn't they? In their mind, they have participated in the creation of the content. So they're going to learn new skills. They're going to remember things they've forgotten about, that so-called refresher. And they're going to bring new ideas to your business, all in an elegant way, which you can use over and over and over again. So I hope you'll get tremendous value from this, as are our other clients, and look forward to speaking to you about it.